What's up guys, you're watching TUGGtv and this is how to set up a studio in your bedroom part 2. In continuation to setting up a studio in your bedroom, or in our case hall, we're here to talk about our gear and everything we use from a hardware and software standpoint.
If you guys are looking for a complete overview of all the things what you need for starting your recording journey, you can find the link here.
Or a link in the description.
Here. We've been quite, asked quite often about how we actually get our recordings done. So this is to let you guys know how we do it.
So without further ado, this is our setup.
Yeah, what you can see here is just one of the setups what we can use for our recording purpose. I know it doesn't look like much, but then trust me, other than the cameras which are not
we are recording on. So of course I have a desktop. I'll probably slip in a photograph of it over here. It's just it's a custom built desktop, AMD processor, 16 gigs of RAM. This laptop of course is of similar specifications, which is why we've shown this here, because not everybody wants a desktop. So instead of that, we have previously discussed, if you want a setup that is extremely agile and portable, this is it. So using this and your digital recording interface, you can have your studio set up in the hall, in your bedroom. So this of course is my Alisys IO4, picked up around about 4 years ago. I paid somewhere in tune of 12,000 bucks for it. And as you can see, it's got 4 input jacks, both for XLR as well as the regular, guitar input jacks. It's got knobs to control the gain for individual channels, an indicator. One great plus point about this device is that it also comes with a phantom power supply, so in case you've got something like a condenser microphone, you don't have to invest in additional power. Also over here, it's got a MIDI in and MIDI out. I'll try to show you this without disrupting my setup. So those two big inputs over there are MIDI in, MIDI out. Also got a headphone jack, and it's got some ports so you can connect this directly to a monitor as well. If you are looking for something smaller and more portable, and if you don't need as many ports, you also have the IO2 as an option. So this of course is Vishesh's IO2.
This is what I use for recording all my stuff. Yay.
And I mean, essentially it's the same thing. It's got output and input to connect to a monitor, MIDI. It's got only 2 channels though. Yeah. One big benefit of this is that it does not need an external power supply, unlike this one.
So these are the hardwares what we use for our recording purposes, and now let's go and concentrate more on the heart of the sound, where we get things from.
The DAW.
So as you guys can see from the screen right now, we are using Reaper as our DAW, and this is one of the biggest investments what we have made so far. I think when we picked it up, it was somewhere around $69, and it's money well spent. Keep in mind that along with any of the LSS instruments, you do get along a Cubase LE version. Like both of us had got our own, but then we preferred Reaper because it has much more functional capabilities whenever it comes to VSTi instruments, plugins, any of those. As you guys can see, these are the vocal tracks what we're using right now for recording our microphones, and we wanted to give you this kind of feel about how it is, or how exactly a VSTi instrument / plugin will actually help you out. So we have 4 of the options which we have actually configured for you guys. So one of them is a direct in, which is just the direct guitar which is connected, and this would be recorded. In the clean version, we are actually going to use Amplitude 4. Okay, so this is going to emulate all your, an amp simulator, a cabinet simulator, and racks. So you can pretty much have any of these things over here.
This of course is a paid software, so I think it would be somewhere in tune of about $150. But if you have seen the previous video, we gave you an explanation. It's kind of, you have to choose between this and buying a decent amp, which would sort of cost you in and around the same thing. But this of course will show you some of the options that this can give you.
First, let's show you how you're gonna have it if you have the guitar directly hooked on into the interface, and this is how it sounds like. So as you can see, it's purely the pickup sound which is actually being transferred over here. You don't have normally have a lot of preamp options which are there on the interfaces. Now let's go into our amplitude option. Kind of adds a bit more of versatility to the sound which is actually there. The same thing whenever you play it on the distortion. For our example over here, we are technically using the Mesa Boogie pack, which is an add-on to the Amplitude 4.1. If you guys can afford to purchase this, do it. Okay, so here is how the distortion sounds like. So yeah, as you can see, it's kind of pretty versatile whenever it comes to all of its sound and everything. But then what we were talking about, the fourth one. So a major factor where a lot of people don't concentrate on is the factor that EQing. Getting the right EQ which is done is essential for a lot of different things, because here you get to remove all of your frequencies which you don't want, and you can shape them as well as you want. So for example, the previous sound, whatever was played, if we play the same thing along with an EQ, this is how it sounds like. Yeah, so that's quite different when you actually think about the tones. So guys, learn how to EQ things. Before we go any further, here's a back-to-back comparisons of all the sounds that you heard.
So that of course was our setup, and as you can see, it's not a rocket science, but it does require some time on your end. So there are various editions of everything here. There are paid editions, free editions of software. Do your homework, do some reading, understand what works for you. We mentioned earlier that some of this you're going to get free, so maybe start off with the free stuff, figure it out, and then you can go from there.
You guys have to spend time with your rig, kind of understand how to get the tone out what you're looking for.
And also, I mean, it's not like something where you have to give up your day job or give up your life. If you spend as much as 15, 20, 30 minutes a day, whenever you're free,
that becomes quite helpful,
more than enough. That's actually how we started doing this. Spend a little bit of time in between jam sessions, understand what is what, how we can improve. And that of course brings us to the end of the second part of the video and making a studio in your bedroom. We hope that you found this informative and helpful. If you have questions or if you need guidance in terms of where to get what, considering this is India and
a lot of things are not feasible when compared to other countries.
Yeah, so if you need any help or if you have any questions, please feel free to hit us up on the comments below, and we'll be glad to help you out.
If you like this video, you can click the like button right there, share it among all your friends. Somebody might find this useful. So subscribe to our channel for a lot more videos like this, experiments about musical taste, original compositions, and a lot of funny things as well, or at least we find them funny. So you might as well. The major thing what you need to remember, stay metal.
We are TUGGtv. Watch TUGGtv. Stay metal.
Stay metal.
Oh my god, this is much better than what you imagined.